As we heard there, Sheriff Donnie Youngblood investigators looking into this as a domestic violence related incident. It's reignited a conversation about what victims can do if they're in a dangerous situation and where they can turn to for help. Lewis Gill, CEO of the Alliance Against Family Violence and Sexual Assault, joining us live in studio. Lewis, thanks so much for being here with us. I want to ask you can't speak to the specifics about this case out of respect to the investigation and authorities in this, but I want to know from where you sit helping victims of sexual assault and domestic violence, what went through your mind when you heard about this shooting?
Anytime that we have a situation where someone decides that taking life is an option, it's a tragedy. And I think our entire community is hurting, and I think we are all in shock at the scope and scale of the devastation that was caused.
Talk a little bit about where victims can go. We often reference the center downtown where you guys offer counseling, emergency services. If a victim tonight or going forward is in a life-threatening or situation where they can't get out of, what do you tell them to do? Where do they turn to?
The first thing to do is to call our hotline. It's open 24 hours a day. It's always manned by a professional. The number is 327-1091. You don't even have to give your name. You can just confidentially get information if you're interested. But if you are looking for a safe place, we have one. And if you need to get out of the area, we have a network of other shelters throughout the state of California, and we can make sure that you are safe and you and your children can be secure.
And I would imagine in these situations where we hear about these drastic, violent, tragic shootings where there's loss of life, other victims who may be feeling helpless in these situations, not knowing where to turn, this may be their one moment where they think they need to get help. Do you see this a lot of times after these violent incidences where people come out and say, I'm ready to get help because I don't want to be in that situation?
Well, I think anytime we have something that's so high profile, it's going to call attention to itself, and it's definitely going to serve as an example to individuals that are very concerned about their own situation. And so, yes, we do see people seeking additional assistance.
And talk a little bit about earlier this year, there was a resource that you partnered with the District Attorney's Office, the Justice Center, and the Alliance Against Family Violence and Sexual Assault. How is that partnership going, and how is that playing into how you're able to help victims here in Kern County?
The Family Justice Center is a single location where we co-locate all services necessary for somebody that has been the victim of domestic violence or sexual assault. And so they can meet with law enforcement if they want to. They can meet with the District Attorney, Department of Human Services. Of course, the first thing they do is they sit down with an advocate from the Alliance Against Family Violence, and we will find out what they want to do. We don't tell them how to go about getting services. We find out what they want. But it has been very successful. More and more people are coming forward and asking for help. Quite frankly, the volume is astounding. Last year, for our service numbers, we served over 2,200 victims of domestic violence, and this year we are expecting to surpass that.
Lewis Gill, we thank you for your time on a difficult discussion and topic, an important one, and we thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
I was heard there from Lewis Gill. You can contact the Alliance Against Family Violence and Sexual Assault on that 24-hour hotline. We're going to give the number one more time, 327-1091. The Alliance, located downtown 1921 19th Street, offering shelter, counseling, self-defense, and children's services.